an opening statement. We'll again start on this side, go over here, so keep your hands up so we can keep it moving.
Well, tough game. Obviously two teams that played really hard. Penn State being down Myron Jones right now, you have to give them a little bit of a pass when you have a guy that's that good who's not playing. Hopefully he gets back for them because they're having a terrific year. Pat's done a great job. Always play hard. They always grind you out. And they always find a way to make the thing hard on you. And that's what happened to us today. We got off to a great start. Thought we played really well early in the game defensively. And first half offense was pretty good. And should have had a bigger lead, going into halftime. We made some dumb errors, towards the end of the half. But to come out in the second half, we took a huge punch. That was at times this season, that punch has hurt us a lot more. We weren't shook. We found a way to kind of hang in there. We had a lot of guys step up and make some plays. And then I thought in the last 8 minutes of the game, we made almost every single hard hustle play. Whether it was an offensive tap, whether it was a long rebound, a defensive stop, a block. Our guards got in there a few times and dug it out. And then, we were able to make some plays when it was really hard. But offense, second half, was just damn tough around the rim. I mean, I thought we had good looks. I thought some guys got some point-blank shots. We really didn't get it. And we needed some more perimeter, weapons versus their pressure. They really started to blow things up and the denying, and they made the game really grimy, which is what you have to do if you're a road team. But we found a way to finish. And at the end of the way, we got 2 wins this week. Played really hard in both games, had great attitude, played with high-level effort, and I thought for the most part we played smart. Only turned it over 12 times at home, and I don't know what we turned it over on Wednesday, but we've been taking care of the ball a little better. That last 2 minutes, we learned our lesson from the Maryland game. We're able to handle the press and get it in and make some free throws. But again, credit to Penn State, very good team. Lamar Stevens, he's just as tough as they come. What a tough customer. But I give our guys credit too. The guys stepped up and made some plays, and we finished the week off well.
Mike?
Coach, first half defense, I guess, how good was it? And specifically, was there an adjustment in there? I think you guys were maybe jumping some passing lanes, being a little bit more aggressive there at times.
No, we were aggressive. The key all week, to be honest with you, was to be great on the ball. And our ball pressure was really good in the first half. 0 for 6 from 3 is huge. Not only turning it over 5 times and not giving them a lot of runouts, but we also did a really good job of pressuring and covering the line early, so they didn't make a ton of threes. But they did get to the foul line 14 times, and just big Mike Watkins and obviously Lamar, they can pretty much isolate you anytime they want and try to get to the foul line, so we fouled a little too much. Second half, first 8 minutes of the second half, we were on our heels. We couldn't stop the ball, we couldn't guard the ball. He had a lot to do with it, with his matchups and what he was doing with big-on-big switches and whatnot. But then we kind of got to calm down a little bit. But defensively all week long, I thought we played as solid as we have defensively. In the course of 2 games, you're going to have some tough times. You're going to have some things that go wrong. But we fought and finished both games really well defensively. We were able to defensive rebound a little better in the second half. Trace obviously is a big part of that. Justin rebounded on the defensive end in the second half. And obviously Race, getting in there did a good job. Rob finished these 5 defensive rebounds for the point guard and 5 steals. Played a really good court game for us. But I'm proud of our guys. Worked hard this week. Had a great attitude, keeping our mouths shut and just basically, grinding it out. That's all you can do.
You talked about taking that punch, and you were down 10 early in Minnesota, was just kind of making everything there early, and you kind of rebounded from that as well. Whether it's body language, things guys are saying to one another, when you do absorb that and come back now, maybe what's different from the times that you referenced earlier in the season where you hadn't been able to kind of bounce back from a really big effort from an opponent? Just
break the game up. We play the game in 10 4-minute battles, 10 4-minute rounds like a fight. And first 2 rounds up in Minnesota, obviously I think they scored the majority of their first half points. But the fight is a full 10 rounds, and at the end of the day in basketball, there's going to be swings. You have to find a way to hang in there and weather it. And you have to find a way to make a couple runs. And then, our defense, to me, is the whole key as we finish the season. Can we get defensive stops, and can we play in transition defense to offense? Because right now, we're taking care of the ball a little bit better. But, keep the big picture in mind. Keep the game simple. If you don't win a 4-minute round like a fight, you got to find a way to win as many rounds as you can. And then you have to be the toughest team the longest. You have to be willing to fight it all the way until the 9th and 10th round. You got to be finishers. And we finished this week. You know, we didn't finish here a few other times, maybe last week, but we've been able to finish here, you know, in the last couple games.
How impactful do you feel Race Thompson has become for you guys? And why do you think he's starting to emerge here?
Race is physical. Race is physical. He puts his body out there. He defensive rebounds, he walls up, he offensive rebounds. You're starting to see him in the post get a little bit more confidence right now with a couple back to the basket moves. Race is not afraid. He's not a young kid. He's been here now 3 years, and unfortunately his season was taken from him last year with injury, or he would have helped last year because he knows what he's doing, and he's a smart guy. Except on that press where he gave up a touchdown. I don't know what he was doing on that. But at the end of the day, if you look at our wins here recently, he's played a big role because the physicality in our league is above it. Like any other league in the country. There's not another league in college basketball that plays the league as physical as this. You need guys that are willing to stick their nose in there and do it. And that's what Race gives us. He gave it to us against Minnesota, gave it to us against Iowa. Nobody had it at Michigan. So it wasn't like he was the only kid. Nobody had it, you know, but now can we find a way in this next one to be good? But he gives us another mobile guy out there, and, you know, to be honest with you, he saves us. We have foul troubles at the 5 right now. We're able to play Trace a little bit more, you know, at the center position, which gives him more offensive opportunities. If Race can hold his ground at the 4, and we don't have to play small with Justin. So, you know, Race is big minutes in the game. You know, his minutes are big. He's changed the course of our season here, you know, as we've been able to get through February.
I was actually going to ask about him as well. I guess how important is he, especially when you blow lead like you guys did? He obviously came up with some pretty big plays, a couple of key buckets there, and some grimy plays. Basically, how important is that when you need something to pick you up at a situation like that?
In this game today, we needed a tough guy. You know, we didn't need jump shooters. We didn't need pretty. I mean, in this type of game in the second half, when it starts to get away from you like that, you need somebody out there to start throwing some punches back. Like at some point, you have to make some hard plays yourself. And Race does that for it because he gives great effort, and that's what he does. He's a blue-collar guy, and he does it every day in practice, but he's really improved. You know, I can't stress enough when he was out how we played him the first time. Race and Jerome didn't play, but Race in particular, the first time we played Penn State, I mean, we need him out there a little bit defending those type of guys. And he didn't play the first time, just, you know, like they didn't have Myron Jones this time, you know, we didn't have the guys. So, but Race is important. I'm proud of him. He's got to hang in there and keep doing a good job. He's got to do a better job at the free throw line because he's a better free throw shooter than that. And you know, I think that as he finishes the season, he's finishing on a high note.
You talked about kind of finishing the final 8 minutes with almost every hard hustle play. Justin Smith seemed to make a lot.
Made a lot. Really raised his level of play the last 8 minutes of the game. Had a steal on underneath out of bounds. It was huge. He had 6 defensive rebounds, which I'm not sure what he had at half, but I would say the majority of his defensive rebounding came in the second half. And that's when Justin's good. When Justin's good, Justin's activity level, and you can see his effort level, making plays others can't make, whether he just goes and gets a rebound nobody else can get, which we needed. He gets a steal, a deflection, because he's in the right position. I thought offensively he had the ball around the basket a few times today and probably could have got maybe a couple more free throws because I thought he got hit on a couple, but he didn't get it. He played through it, which is good. Sometimes Justin wants the game to go a certain way, and it doesn't, and it takes him a minute. But when the energy was up and we needed the plays to be made, I thought last 8 minutes he stepped up and did a great job.
He had 2 rebounds in the first half.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know how many of them were offensive rebounds, 2 total, so he ends up getting 6 rebounds in one half. Big offensive rebound in the left corner that he was able to snag as well.
Archie, you're 27 games into this. In what ways has your team improved, both individually and collectively here down the stretch?
Well, I think collectively we're starting to understand that like, the identity of the team has to be defense first. Defense creates the offense, and then the offensive side of the ball is about taking care of it. I think for so long we played games where guys worried about, you know, playing on offense. Why can't you score? Why are you going through such a long shooting drought? Why are you this? Why are you that? And at the end of the day, like, that's irrelevant. If you're great defensively, you're going to have a chance. If you're great on the glass, you're going to have a chance. And on offense, if we can take care of the ball better, we're going to be able to be better, especially this time of year. So collectively, I think we're starting to figure out, like, this deal is about high-level effort on defense. That's the only thing that we're working towards. On offense, we're really trying to be sharp and take care of it a little bit better. That's going to give us 5 or 6 more opportunities to score the ball, which I thought this week was huge. We didn't turn it over as much. Individually, we have certain guys right now, I think, that are in a great groove in terms of understanding what they have to bring to the table. There's not too many guys on our team right now that don't know what we need from them, and I think you're seeing multiple contributions from a lot of guys where our bench continues to help us. Duran, big basket today, under the basket. Second half late. Jerome, really big three. Race, we already talked about him. You look at Devontae, he had a good week this week for us, was able to really make some shots and make some plays. And you look at Armand, at Minnesota. Today, maybe not as much, his minutes were a little limited, but at Minnesota, Armand did a great job defensively. So I can go across the board and continue to name it, but right now, I think our team has pretty much figured out, like, all the looks and all the feeling good stuff's out. It doesn't matter anymore. Right now, this is about playing the best ball you can at the right time. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to stink it up again, or that doesn't mean we're not going to play poorly. But I will say you have to have that bounce back mentality. You have to have a group that understands that we have a lot of great things in front of us if we continue to kind of hone in and get better. It's not about what just happened. It's about what can happen. And I think that our team in general hasn't worried or has definitely at least had a blind eye to, hey, we played good, then we played bad. It hasn't been, oh, they played bad, let's worry about that. It's been, let's move on to the next one. Let's see if we can't play better, which I think is why we've won 3 out of our last 4. And obviously our last 2 home wins against Iowa and Penn State, our big resume wins.
Another double-double for...
Are we done?
No.
Another double-double for Trace. He was a guy that maybe started a little slow in this game, but he said you kind of prodded him to keep making
He had
shots.
to fight through it. That deal inside for him today wasn't going to be easy. I mean, they had some guys at the door at the club, or the guy at the door at the bar when you check in, and that's the guy that you were playing against tonight inside. I mean, those dudes are physical, and they are bullies. And they're not giving you any of those calls with those guys. They can hold serve. And Trace, I thought early in the game, was trying way too much to pivot and sort of jump into guys and look for contact. I thought later in the game he played through it and had some really good looks. But he shot 17 times. That's what I'm happy about. He was aggressive. He stayed with it.
All right, Coach.
Thank
thanks.
you.